Hi, Laura. I'm Christy McNabb, and welcome to your mini reading. Thank you so much for responding. I apologize again for the lateness of my response, but I am grateful to be here offering you this mini reading. I'm just going to do a simple 3-card spread today with the Fountain Tarot. That's what this guy looks like. It's a beautiful deck, and it's fairly new to me. So, actually a friend of mine, I'll show you. She trimmed the edges, so I don't always know what card I'm looking at. It's because it doesn't have the name on it anymore. So, which is fine because I do more of an intuitive reading, and so the imagery a lot of times is enough to give me an idea of what's going on. So, since you are new to my readings, I will give you my spiel that I usually give people in my recorded readings, and that is that I'm simply a messenger with these. I don't claim to be any kind of expert or the final authority or anything that I say. So, I usually recommend that people take what resonates with them and that they leave behind what doesn't. And when we talk about resonance, I usually compare it to, say, like a guitar. When you pluck a string and the string vibrates and makes noise, then that's considered resonance. And usually, if it's not resonating, it's just still and flat and doesn't make any noise. So we can tell what resonates within us by paying attention to how we feel, and that can be good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be a good feeling, it doesn't always have to be a bad feeling, it's just a feeling in general. So usually having a journal or a piece of paper nearby so that you can write down what strikes you, any questions, thoughts, or observations, and as you're listening, and knowing, since this is recording, always that you can hit pause and start again. So anyway, let's get down to it. As I'm shuffling, I have just been meditating on your name and what I should be sharing with you. I've had several cards popping out, but I've decided to put them back in, which isn't always the case. But again, just what I felt like I should do. And so I'm going to lay out 3 cards. And this is a past, present, and future spread. So here are the cards in order of past, present, and future. So so it's a little difficult not knowing you at all. Say lovey, that's all right. So I think I actually want to start with the present. Actually, I want to draw 2 more cards. Okay, so the reason this, actually I'm going to share these 2. The reason these both stuck out to me, okay, this guy, this one being the past, this one being the present, is because they are so very different from one another. And if I had to guess, one would be the High Priestess and one would be the Empress. regardless, um, the past one being so warm and inviting, really wrapped in colors, and then the present one having this like cold, um, um, I mean, just clear she's in charge. Okay, so this is the moon, I think, actually. I think this is the moon card. So there's something of a darkness here. There's something of with the past card, like operating with such a sense of warmth. And with that, the sun being present, all of these colors just kind of radiating, even clothed in this really beautiful robe, really colorful robe blanket, almost looks like a rug to me. Um, to be being very thinly veiled, operating under the shadows of the dark. Of course, the moon is the lunar capacity really resonates with the feminine, and so there is that aspect um, of connection to the feminine, but it's almost like the cold, calculating um, aspects of darkness, um, and so I think this is what's interesting to me is the difference between the past and the present selves. Something has drastically changed, um, and I think I may have a little bit of an idea what that is, although we'll get there. The future, the near future card is the cups here, with the two doves. It's actually a giant cup with the two doves. Um, and so to me, it's almost like a reconciling of the two selves. Um, or a necessity to reconcile with the two selves. Cups always symbolize water and emotion. Um, and so again, it's like with that past self, there's like this clear connection and warmth of emotion, whereas with the present self, there's almost like it's devoid of emotion. Emotion is left outside the door, um, and in its wake is left this person who again, cold and calculating come to mind. And so it's almost like in the near future, there will be an equalization of the two. The two birds are sitting equal to each other on the edge of the glass. They look like twins. So I sense that the two sides there's going to be a balancing out in the near future. Sorry, my roommate's dog is barking. And so I'm getting this as like one of the reasons why for the past self and the present self. This is the Nine of Swords. Sorry, Eight of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. What always strikes me about this card is that the swords are pointed at her throat, and that her head is bowed, her eyes are masked. And what I generally get from this card is a sense of censorship, and with the swords pointed, directly at her throat, um, there's almost like penalty for speaking up. And so I'm wondering if past self has tried to do that, present self is experiencing the repercussions of that. And then here is this one, which is, to me, it goes a little bit more with the outcome. Um, it's still, I think what's concerning is this is not a whole person. So, but it is a person who is more embracing of beauty. It's a warmer card. Yes, there is the black and the darkness, but there still seems to be more fulfillment and wholeness with this person, being able to go forward in the world. And so whatever it is that you've experienced that feels like you can't speak your truth, I think you're going, oh, I like that there are birds in both of them. So there's even a sense of like wings and ability to fly. Um, so there's a sense of transformation happening here where you're learning to find the balancing act between the past, having felt very warm and emotional and connected with your emotional self, disconnecting from that for whatever reason, these swords at your throat, um, coming into a place I think where you are more accepting even of your own truth, able to speak that truth, and then able to eventually find the wings so that you can fly. to, I mean, that sounds really cheesy, but so that it's really like I'm getting the image of a caterpillar who undergoes the transformation in the chrysalis, and in a sense, they have to be actually by what's happening is that they melt down, and it sounds really disgusting to think about, but once they enter the chrysalis, they actually they melt and they reform as butterfly. And so, really, the body of the butterfly is the only thing that we recognize from the caterpillar. But if you were to put the two side by side, we probably wouldn't notice that they were related at one point. And I sense that that is really what's happening here. Is that it was almost like forced entry into the chrysalis from whatever it was that happened, and then again that feeling of punishment that you've spoken your truth, forced entry into the chrysalis, but regardless you've entered the chrysalis, and what you're waiting for now is the transformation to be complete so that you can emerge fully winged, a different creature, with a beauty of its own, So the beauty that you held in the past, honor and respect that, but there's an emerging beauty and freedom with what is coming up for you in the future. So um, I'd love to do a full reading for you. I have to keep it at a mini, so I'm not going to draw any other cards. But if you are interested in a full reading, I do offer them. They're about 30 minutes long. I do a full spread, and you can pick your deck. I send you pictures of the backs of the cards, so you can tell me which one resonates with you, and they are $25. So, and again, those links are available to you for viewing and reviewing purposes. It was a pleasure sharing with you. Yeah, there seems like there's so much more to this story. So if this resonates with you, I'd love to hear how and why. If you feel comfortable sharing, it sounds like it may be some deeply personal things. So I understand if that's not something that's comfortable to you. But many blessings to you, sister. I hope that this finds you well.